Leeds United have faced off in a match against Manchester United in a match that a lot of people thought we would get absolutely nothing from. After all, it'd been a while since we'd had a genuinely sort of reassuring performance in the league. Man United have been annoyingly quite good so far this season at home, so it was never going to be the easiest of matches. And when the lineup came out, everyone sort of assumed, okay, cool, at least we're going to attack them, so if we lose, we're going to go down fighting. However, things didn't quite go that way. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the sort of match roughly chronologically, get a rough idea of what that means for our season going forwards, and ultimately where we're sitting at the minute and how the fans are feeling, because I think we're in a very, very interesting place at the minute. And to begin with, we need to talk about that lineup because it was a more aggressive form of the first 11 than a lot of people sort of anticipated. Carl Darlow in net, fine. Back three featuring James Justin. This means that Bogle is just free to roam because Justin can be that right back. Gudmundsson over on the left with Bogle out on the right. Ampadu paired with Tanaka, which means that Tanaka is happy to do the sort of creative side of the work. If I get distracted a little bit, you can see a little bit there. There's currently a baby sat on me, so it's quite hard to do this sort of gesturing with both hands, so you'll only get this one. Then you've got Aronson on one side behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Okafor on the other side behind him, which I think is the sort of perfect attacking lineup. It was a sign that the club wanted all 3 points in this match and weren't just going to go out and hope that we could scrape a draw. We were genuinely going to approach this hoping for a win. And that early Noah Okafor goal sort of stamped our authority on things. From the very start, we were on top. Gabby Gudmundsson's ball into Dominic Calvert-Lewin, which was really, really nicely saved by Senna Lomans, who is an irritatingly good goalkeeper, sort of set the tone, followed by that goal from Noah Okafor, which was very nicely nutmegged, impossible for the keeper to get to, put Leeds United in the lead, and everyone is just over the moon, but also potentially thinking, well, I don't know if we can realistically hold on to this. As the game goes on and goes on and goes on, we start to learn that, well, we're the only side that really look like we're up for it. Man United didn't look like they even wanted to be in the stadium, and we were bringing that sort of high energy, high pressure, high effort version of football that we like to play, and ultimately that caused a lot of problems for them, including in multiple cases that I'll talk about later. But eventually we got to that second goal, which was just a case of, again, heap on the pressure, make sure that they, if they make a mistake, have to pay for it. Ball comes in from Gudmundsson, headed clear. Okafor heads it back in, headed back out to Okafor, falls beautifully for him. On the half volley, fires it in, deflects really nastily. Like, no goalkeeper is stopping that. But at the end of the day, that was a sign of our early dominance. The first half was just a case of Leeds United running the pitch and ultimately having no problems at all. Dominating possession, dominating chances, dominating territory, importantly, and making sure that they didn't really have any sort of threat at all. This includes the chance for Tanaka right before half time, where he takes it brilliantly past the goalkeeper. There's not a goalkeeper in the world that deals with that, because of the way that Tanaka shifted the ball from his right foot to his left so quickly, whilst keeping his balance, was honestly ridiculous. And he got ridiculously unlucky as well that Lisandro Martinez decided that in that one moment he would remember he is a footballer rather than a 13-year-old girl in an argument with her friends by pulling hair. We'll get into that one a little bit later on, but weirdly Carrick was sort of annoyed by that. We then get into half time and everyone sort of assumes that Man United are going to want to make some changes because of course they are. They've just been humbled at home, booed off the pitch at half time and look genuinely a little bit embarrassing. So this is where they would want to change things up and make things a little bit different, and of course they did. They came out with a little bit more oomph, a little bit more va-va-voom to them, and tried to cause a few more problems for Leeds United until the aforementioned Lisandro Martinez mistake, where from a goal kick, ball's coming over the top, Calvert-Lewin in front of him, he reaches out very deliberately, tracking onto the back of Dominic Calvert-Lewin's head and grabs it. And doesn't pull much, but he pulls a little bit, just to sort of, ooh. Calvert-Lewin goes down, as is his right, because he's had his hair pulled in a football match, which is a red card offence. VAR takes a look, invites the referee to have a look, and says, no, yeah, that is a red card because you've done a thing that is always a red card offence. Off you go. After the match, Michael Carrick sort of saying, hold on, I'll try and specifically find what Carrick said. Michael Carrick said it is absolutely shocking. I've just opened the YEP now, so I'll see if I can get it word for word. There we go. Lenny Yoro gets a forearm smash to the back of the head. I didn't see that in the slightest. Oh, what? No, I did. Which was in the lead up to the Okafor goal, but to be fair, I don't think he did in the slightest. Then it rolled a little bit from there. We didn't get to grips at certain points, etc., etc. On the red card, he said he gets an arm in the face. They're grappling. He almost goes to grab his shirt and catches his hair. The bobble comes out. There's no tug, no aggression, no sudden movement. Got to be careful where the game's going. But the first goal's deemed alright. It's an absolutely shocking decision. Two decisions for me. Right, okay, so first of all, I don't think he's got any right to complain about anything in that first half because they were genuinely pathetic. They were one of the worst opponents I've seen Leeds United have this season. Second of all, you can't really say, oh, Martinez was fine, he didn't do anything wrong, he only tried to pull Calvert-Lewin's shirt, which is also a foul. Also, he doesn't pull his shirt, he pulls his hair. It's in the same way as going, it was, look, he tried a slide tackle. He tried to get the ball, he really did. It's not his fault that his studs hit his knee. Absolutely is, it's still a red card. Making an error that leads to a red card offence is still a red card offence. You don't get away with it just because you didn't mean to do it. But because it's poor Man United, I'm sure that they'll get an apology from PGMOL or something. And at this point, you're thinking, absolutely plain sailing, 2-0 up, Man United have 10 men, Casemiro scores a goal. Gets a little bit of space at the back post from a fairly nicely whipped in ball, which is sort of now, I think it's Beal that loses him. Free header, Darlow can't do anything about it, which means that we're inviting from this point a lot of late pressure. And to be fair, we had plenty of chances in the second half as well, just they also had a hell of a lot of them. And that late pressure meant that Dominic Calvert-Lewin cleared the ball off the line a couple of times. James Justin headed the ball off the line at one point. Going towards that Stretford end, they started to cause some problems. And this is where I think my choice number 2 for man of the match being Karl Darlow, number 1 obviously being Noah Okafor, scoring twice at Old Trafford for Leeds United, of course makes you the best player in that match in my opinion. But Darlow was spectacular, made some ridiculous stops in that match that frankly a lot of players don't. And I think he ultimately won us that game, which you just thank you so much, Karl Darlow, because we ended up winning 2-1. And for me, this is potentially the most important result of the season so far. I know that's maybe a little bit of hyperbole, but everyone was going into this weekend going, that gap to the bottom 3 is going to get smaller because we are not going to win and the sides below us are. And one of the sides below us did, West Ham, but other than that, Spurs lost. We ended up beating Scum. Our gap to the relegation zone is now 6 points. With 6 games left, if we really think... I mean, I don't think Spurs are going to get 6 points to begin with. So I think we're safe at this point. I know that's potentially a stupid thing to say, and I've potentially gone very, very early on that. But I can't see Spurs winning 2 more games of football. I can't see them getting 2 points, well, an extra point per game over what we get, and I'm assuming that we're going to run at 1. They would need 2 points per game at that rate in order to overtake us, and we are also points clear over West Ham and Forest. I think we're in a very, very good spot right now, and I know a lot of fans will be of the opinion that like we're potentially in danger, and potentially, yeah, we are. But the reason that we're all football fans is so we can enjoy moments like this. And I will be honest, anyone that is coming out of this season and going, oh, I don't know if Daniel Farke is going to be good enough. We're an FA Cup semi-final, which is no mean feat, and we've just beaten Man United away from home for the first time in 45 years. Fantastic night of football. Absolutely wonderful. No complaints from me. And let's keep that momentum rolling. Let's just keep on winning because if we do that, nothing's going to stop us. Let's beat Wolves this weekend. Let's do pretty damn well against Bournemouth, I think, in the week after at some point. And then it's Wembley, where hopefully we get another trip to Wembley and then we raise a little bit of silverware because that'd be absolutely wonderful. Anyway, that's what I think at the very least. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. That'd be lovely as well. Hope you enjoyed. And I will see you later. What a win! What a win! What a night!